Hey, what's up everybody? Myth here, and I want to talk about something today that I recently seen pop up on my Twitter feed and just in general has been starting up a lot of debate and controversy in the Apex gaming community specifically. In the Apex Legends community, there's kind of like this entire narrative going around and kind of the community being split into, I don't want to say halves because it's not really half-sided, but it's like 99 to 1% sided. And it all sparks off from this TikTok that I'll show you right here. As you can see, Jake Lucky tweeted, recently a video went viral in Apex Legends space as the casuals versus pros debate took off, calling out pros for ruining the game for casuals with the updates they push for. Let's give it a listen.
What the fuck is wrong with
Strong start.
these pro players complaining about everything? This is a rant about how I truly think Apex Legends is being ruined by a certain demographic, and that demographic is the pro players. I have two main points to say in this video. Firstly, you pro players need to open your mind a little more. Stop
Open your
being
mind.
so narrow-minded and selfish.
Stop being narrow
I
and
don't
selfish.
give a fuck if this is your job.
shit,
There is
so
millions
bad.
of other players having their fun ruined because you decided you wanted to take Apex Legends too seriously for a living. Stop. You cunts are influencers. You clearly
Yikes.
have a big sway on the way things occur. It's not fair that your fans will take whatever you say as gospel and start spreading it like crazy. And half the time they don't even realize what you're even asking for, but they will still post it everywhere because they support you as a creator. So surely you can sit back and think, okay, I want this change, but this change would cause everyone else, the majority, literally 98% of the rest of the players in the world, to have a much less fun time playing their favorite game. I won't suggest it. Instead of being an emotional wreck and posting the first fucking thought that comes to your mind because you got frustrated. And I'm talking to all the pro players here, but can I just say, if you were a real CEO, you'd understand the basic fundamentals of ensuring the majority of your customers are happy and not the minority. So in my eyes, you ain't the fucking CEO of shit.
Jesus
Secondly,
Christ, this
Respawn,
dude's
I
mad,
get it.
dude.
You're constantly fighting to keep the game balanced and fresh, and I cannot fathom how difficult it is to maintain a live service game. And I respect every dev and know all of you are doing the best job you can. So on behalf of the community, thank you. But you really need to stop catering to every demand an emotional, closed-minded pro player suggests. Haven't you realized this yet? They'll make a suggestion, you will implement it into the game exactly how they wanted, and then they will complain that it needs to go back to how it was. How about, instead of falling for these emotional responses and posts, you do what you do best, and that is providing a dope-ass battle royale experience without outside influence from a minority of the player base. The
you
removal
go.
of all this fun shit from the game is going to drive so many people away. The pro players are playing a whole other game. That 0.5
Okay, so it kind of goes on, but that's pretty much the gist of it. And there are some like pretty important things that I want to kind of talk about right off the bat. One, throughout this entire video, and or at least in this 2-minute and 20 section part of it, I'll give that respectfully, there is no real mention about any specific thing that the pros happen to ruin. It's just kind of him yelling at some bullshit and saying, pros, you ruined this, blah, 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 but then not providing a single example when he could have just easily done that. That's kind of the first thing about this that I find to be kind of weird. Secondly, yeah, he is basically blaming the pros and blaming the hardcore community for ruining the game because the devs are supposedly catering to every single word that the pros or the 2% are vocalizing. Now, before I kind of completely fucking shit on this dude's video, one point that I will agree with him on is that as a content creator, as a pro, just speaking like back to when I used to play Fortnite a lot of people, we voice our opinions in ways that is not productive overall. We complain and bitch and moan without actually thinking about the things and the mechanics in the game or providing solutions as to how you could actually make them better. Now, I think that is inherently incorrect, and to the one point that I'll give this guy in this video, I think he has that. I think I could genuinely give that to him because I think that is a valid criticism, because then you have the communities kind of hate bandwagoning the developers, and that's not a good relationship you want with your community in general. But where this dude like atrociously fucking fails and falls flat on his face is just the pure sheer fact that like Apex is a company. Apex is a fucking business at the end of the day. And if Apex wanted to kill itself, it could have listened to pros a year a fucking go. But they've consistently released content season after fucking season that the masses love. And actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's look at Apex player count. If we look over at Steam charts, very recently, Apex hit the biggest peak ever. So everything that this guy's fucking saying is just flat out incorrect. This is looking at the entirety of it from fucking early 2020 all the way to the latest season drop, which I'm pretty sure happened on this date where we see the spike. This is the most popular Apex has been with this shit. So you got to ask yourself, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Is he complaining about something that doesn't exist? Yes, he is. Apex Legends is not killing their game by listening and catering every decision that they make or every decision that the pros want into their game. No, what they're doing is they're listening to the community as a whole and they're implementing change as they see fit. So if something gets changed in the fucking game, you shouldn't go and brigade the streamers or pro content creators or whatever the fuck you want to think made the problem. You should fucking blame the devs. Like, I just don't see how this logic fits up. And I actually kind of worded out in a tweet that I made about it here. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Anyone that genuinely thinks any game developer is going to kill their game by catering or dropping patches for the top 1% of the top 1% is smoking a fat bowl of coke. It's a whole ass company. No one is making decisions based off of what a handful of players thinks. And there have been times in the gaming industry where this has happened, where developers listen to the top 1%, they make the game less casual friendly, and you want to know what happens every time? The game fucking dies. And I think that's a mistake that's been made enough to where people aren't going to make that anymore. These companies are too big. They're making way too much fucking money to give a fuck about what Imperial Hall or whatever fucking pro thinks should be changed into the game without it going through a proper process by the company, the designers, the developers, the fucking programmers, to see whatever it is that the pro's talking about, whether it's valid or not, and if it actually contributes positively to the game as a whole. Sorry. I just kind of wanted to hop on and talk about this bullshit because it's currently hot and happening and going on in the gaming community. And I genuinely like talking about things like this. I talk a lot about game development and in the perspective of game development and the consumer often on my stream. And so when I seen this topic, I was like, you know what? I should voice my opinion on it and I should post it on YouTube because I think it may actually provide some insight to some people that are currently up in arms, picking sides, saying fuck the pros, or the pros saying fuck the casuals. There is no side. Stop it. You guys are fighting each other for no fucking reason, and it's quite comical if I'm being completely honest. It's just funny. Anyways, that'll be all from me. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, take care of those around you, and as always, keep believing.